Andrés, you are one of the winners of the Global Award for Sustainable Architecture 2024. Together we believe that education is the key to achieving a more sustainable world, but your approach even goes further. How do you integrate design and research and activism to address social and political justice concerns within architecture?
I think that at this point, when we talk about social justice, we have to acknowledge that there's a number of systems that were put in place that are cracking. And this is colonialism, carbonization, racialization, and I would say technocracy and patriarchates. All these things are working together and we're seeing them cracking. And that's what the crisis that we're witnessing now are about. But in order to operate there, there's so much work to do. First, we need to know what's happening, and I think design needs to engage on research, but at the same time, design is a force of activism. If we don't mobilize the specific knowledge and capacities of space, materiality, systems to change the world, our work is going to be just words and rhetorics. So for me, research, design, and activism work together to make architecture relevant.
The challenges of sustainability are, of course, at the heart of all our reflections, particularly in the field of architecture and urban design, especially in regions already heavily impacted by climate change. Could you tell us a few words about Aufpolin's Rambla Climate House and how it contributes to environmental rebirth and addresses the impacts of over-urbanization?
I think when we think about sustainability now, it's not like in the 1980s or 20 years ago. It's not enough for architecture to reduce its emissions and reduce its environmental impact. We have a world that needs to be redesigned and that needs to be repaired. And I think architecture now has the great capacity to reimagine what is the way that we produce trans-species relationships. Basically, how do we produce an architecture that is more than human? And that's what we're doing with this Rambla Climate House. Our offices pioneered this notion of trans-species design as an opportunity, for instance, in this house, that not to basically cater only to those that are living in the house, those humans, but catering to the entire ecosystem that they are part of. And how do we do that? Basically, we collect the rainfall and the water from the showers, and we use it to repair the ecosystem of the ravine, which is a crucial part of Murcia, the region of Murcia in the southeast of Spain, that basically its landscape depends very much, its ecosystems, on the capacity of the ravines to provide climate control and biodiversity. And the house is actually repairing these ecosystems that have been lost over decades of over-urbanization. This is the power of architecture now, to rethink the way humans relate to other species, not on the basis of extractivism, but rather in a dynamic of mutual care.
The high cost of living, and always rising cost of living in many big cities, limits access to housing. Could you tell us about your prototype for shared housing, your Aufpolin's Rolling House initiative?
One of the things that is crucial now to redesign is the relationship of architecture with real estate. We live in a time of high-endcracy, or we could say a real estate hegemony. And I think architecture caters to very different programs, political programs. It's a force of justice, integration, inclusivity, and also, in a way, a possibility for societies to address questions that are relevant and very urgent, like climate, inequality, geopolitical tensions. When we look at housing, I think there's a need to change the word. It's not housing, it's domesticity. Architecture has the great capacity to operate in the collectiveness of domesticity of daily life and provide the infrastructures that allowed humans to relate to others and to themselves in a way that they can be emancipated and that they can really participate in society in the best conditions. But in order to do that, there's probably a need to detach houses from property and to think publicness as an opportunity to provide domesticity and domesticity as an infrastructure that provides not only social, but I would say ecological justice. This is the challenge of architecture now. And this project, Rolling House for the Rolling Society, was a way for us to manifest that this is a priority that architecture can attend.